In this video, I'm going to provide some detailed information on the Studio One Professional and Notion templates that I use in my new musical genre, Stupid. Over the past decade or so, I've come to realize that modern music is becoming increasingly stupid. So a few months ago, I created a new musical genre called Stupid. It's not really so much stupid as it is teenage garage bands 50 years ago. I have templates. I do everything in Notion, music notation, and Studio One Professional, where the instruments are hosted, the virtual instruments. I also use real instruments, and of course I sing. But I also have a virtual female soprano, Vox Blue, and she's really hot. In the Notion score, which is where I keep the music notation, all the staves are rewire MIDI staves. And all Notion is doing is it's transforming this music notation into MIDI. And it sends the MIDI up to the instruments in Studio One Professional. And that's how it works. This is very efficient because Notion is only doing what it is designed to do, which is convert music notation to MIDI and vice versa. It does other things, but as far as keeping the Notion side of things lean and mean, rewire MIDI staves is the way to do that. Studio One Professional, on the other hand, handles all the mixing and the audio work, and also hosts all the instruments, which is what Studio One Professional is designed to do, and it's what it does best. So this particular setup is optimized and it's very efficient. Now on the Notion side, what I do, I play drums, and so I think about drums in terms of what each hand's doing, what each foot's doing. And rather than combine it all into one staff, which would be incredibly complex, I do it instrument by instrument. I've got a double kick drum set, so I have a left kick drum and I have a right kick drum. And I also have a left snare drum and a right snare drum. And I have left hi-hats and right hi-hats. And I have left tom-toms and right tom-toms. Each one of these staves is an instance of addictive drums. And so these are all the drums. This is kick drum, snare drum, toms, cymbals, and a cowbell. Now you'll notice that all these are over on the left side, and that's because they're the ones that's left kick drum. Now if I go to right kick drum, pull up the same thing, it's over on the right side. Now if I want everything top center, then I just put notes on both of them, and they're the same notes. So like this is the left kick drum, this is the right kick drum, they're playing the exact same thing, and because one's panned far left and one's panned far right, when you do both of them playing the exact same thing, it winds up being top center. Let's see, I've also, because this particular song that I'm providing some information on has a timpani and it also has a ratchet, but it's actually a gyro, I think. I couldn't find a ratchet, but anyway, and one thing that you can do, essentially, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different drum sets. But most of the time, they're only just playing one note. But for example, if you want to do tom-toms, you can put the notes on an available staff, in this case left hi-hats, and you can put the same tom notes on the right hi-hats and on left toms and on right toms, so you've actually got essentially 4 different drummers playing the exact same thing, and so that makes it louder. You also notice that there's no dynamics in here. I don't use dynamics, I don't use articulations, I don't use any of that stuff because it's too complicated and it hurts my brain. I don't need it. If I want to adjust the volume level of something like these kick drums, then I do it with a VSTi effects plugin. In this case, I like the T-Rack S White 2A. It's a leveling amplifier, and it's pretty easy to operate. You just this is the input gain, and this is how much you want to reduce the peak. I've got it set on limiter, and so that way you can dial it in. You'll also notice that for the most part I've got all the sliders and they're set about the same. It's just easier, it's visually too complex to have I don't know, if you're gonna adjust volumes and stuff, why do it with sliders? I generally do it with effects plugins. Now on this timpani, which was really low volume, I had to kind of push it a little bit up to, like, I don't know, 55 on the gain, and I don't know, about 30 on the peak reduction, and that works out fairly well. And I've got different things, like on the vocals I'm doing all kind of stuff, but there's no vocals on this. And so anyway, that's kind of the way it works. Now you'll notice these notes, that's a snare drum, and I've actually got that on the tom-tom staff, and I've also got it up here, so it's like there's 4 people playing tom-toms, and so that's okay. That's something you can do if you want to emphasize a tom-tom and there's nothing else going on. Well, you can just put them on all 8 staffs if you want to, and the more the merrier. And so anyway, that's I don't know, I guess that's probably it. It's not too complicated. I mean, it's really simple, and it's like totally stupid too, but it works. And it's taken quite a bit of work to develop this into a template and a system and the whole thing, but I don't know, you might recognize some of this, and if you do, don't tell anybody, because this is educational, and I'm not trying to infringe anybody's copyright, but here we go. Yeah, and that's the intro drum part for a famous TV show. Yeah, it's not exact, but I think it's getting there pretty close. This stuff on the end, I've got to listen to that a little bit more to get that right. But I think the timpani and the ratchet, and generally the Drums is going pretty good, yeah. Now in the original theme song, it actually fades in. You know, when it's doing the tom things, yeah. Yeah, and what's interesting is that particular television show, the theme song was recorded in Western Recorders, and some time later, the East-West folks actually bought it. They were very careful not to change any of the studio stuff, you know, because it's just a unique studio. And so some of these instruments, like the timpani and the ratchet and the gyro and some other things, are actually they're from East West Composer Cloud X, and so they're actually recorded in the same studio that the television theme song was recorded by the Wrecking Crew. So I think that's just totally interesting. I mean, it's, you know, I'm using East-West stuff recorded in the same studio that the Wrecking Crew recorded the theme song for a famous television show. This might be the best theme song ever. Okay, thanks. And then next, I'll probably add some bass, and then start fiddling around with horns and stick a couple of guitars in there and a Farfisia compact organ or a Vox Continental, and might even put a clavioline in there just to be weird, and a bass saxophone. Yeah. Okay, thanks.